What if the most explosive part of a documentary never actually made it into the documentary? And what if the person behind it is now hinting that the Rayall story might still be sitting on a hard drive somewhere, waiting to be released? That's exactly the situation surrounding Curtis 50 Cent Jackson and his recent documentary project about Sean Diddy Combs. The series already sparked massive conversation online, but according to 50 himself, viewers may have only seen a fraction of what his team originally uncovered. And here's the part people keep debating. What got cut might actually be the most controversial material of all.
World that Diddy could have gotten with. He chose 50 Cent's baby mother.
It's a lot of variables to this particular question. Because I talk to a lot of people, older, younger, even my daughter, who's 22, she didn't understand it. So people give their opinion based on what they've experienced. And
according to statements 50 Cent has shared publicly, the documentary was limited to just 4 episodes. That meant hours of research, interviews, and allegations reportedly had to be left out. And one claim he has hinted at involves a deeply personal connection between Diddy and a woman who was once romantically linked to Tupac Shakur. The allegation, never shown in the final release, suggested that Diddy allegedly had a child with that woman, identified in some discussions as Sarah Chapman, who was reportedly connected to Tupac years earlier. Now, to be clear, these claims have circulated in interviews and commentary, but they have not been proven in court, and the documentary itself did not present that storyline. Still, the fact that 50 Cent says the footage exists is exactly what keeps people asking questions, and that's where things start getting messy. Because instead of quietly moving on, 50 has hinted that the unreleased material might eventually be released independently, possibly even on YouTube. And since the documentary aired, he claims even more people have been reaching out with additional information, new tips, new rumors, new stories from insiders who say they witnessed things firsthand. But then another question appears. Why is 50 Cent pushing this so aggressively in the first place?
The baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out. Just slutted her out. Having a whole basketball team run a train on her. And
I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll be sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter. Right.
That's his reputation.
I'll be sure his baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serum, his friend, the one that had she had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend. He got a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, if you don't understand this, then you just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, oh yeah, I stay Vlad.
Some fans think the answer is simple. Long-standing rap industry rivalry. After all, tension between 50 Cent and Diddy has existed for years. But comedian and industry insider TK Kirkland believes the real motive might be far more personal. According to Kirkland, the issue may revolve around respect and boundaries. His argument centers on Diddy allegedly becoming involved with the mother of 50 Cent's child. Kirkland claims that decision alone could explain why the feud never really cooled off. In his view, there are certain lines in personal relationships that many men simply don't cross, especially when a rivalry already exists.
He said that he had a lot of footage had to be down. The documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary, and they could have had 45 minutes. They could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that They know that they took my ideal. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And how it would go. They did the same thing. This ain't the first time they stole from me, man. You know, if you look at the Notorious Big, if you watch the Notorious Big, that part about the shoes, I had that in my book. And I was talking to K.O. Copeland. He was one of the writers of that movie. And I told him about when I let Big use my shoes at Soul Train Award. You had this old flunky ass dude, Mike B, get on Angie Martinez's show and talk about, yo, Big, he wore mixed max shoes and he went out there and performed. When you go look at the film, when you go look at Big.
Now again, these are opinions and interpretation from commentators, not confirmed legal findings. But Kirkland argues that someone with Diddy's level of fame and influence would have had countless options when it comes to dating. So the decision to pursue someone connected to a rival, if that's how events unfolded, would appear deliberate to some observers. And that perception, whether accurate or not, has fueled years of tension between the two camps. But then another voice entered the conversation, and that's where the story took an unexpected turn.
And if 50 do another one, and I heard he's going to put it on YouTube or do whatever he's going to do, Puff ain't going to have nothing to do with that. Puff ain't going to have nothing to do to try to stop that because he can't. Because if he could stop it, it would have been stopped. You know why he can't stop it? Because Puff know people right there at Netflix. Don't think he don't. And I don't know if this guy still worked for them, but he was part of the flavor unit, Sha Kim. He was part of the flavor unit. He was good friends. He was cool with Puff and them. Flavor unit and them, Queen Latifah and them, they was cool with Puff. If Puff would have sent the cease and desist over there and they could do it and he had the power and they wasn't right, they would have been done it. You see it's still rolling, right? It's still going on, right? He ain't got that power no more. You understand? Now, could he sue them because they use his likeness or use something and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not that versed in they using him. You understand? If they can steal your whole damn idea, your whole damn ideal, why can't they steal your whole damn intellectual property?
A man known as Gone Deal has also spoken publicly about the documentary, but his criticism isn't about what was included or excluded. Instead, he alleges that parts of the project were based on ideas he previously pitched. According to Deal, he had conversations with producers and shared concepts for how a documentary about Diddy's history should be structured. He claims elements of those ideas later appeared in the final production without proper credit. Those claims remain disputed and have not been verified publicly, but they add yet another layer of controversy around the project. And here's the part that raises even more questions. Deal argues that if Diddy truly had the power to stop the documentary from being released, it might have already happened. His theory suggests that if legal action were possible, it would likely have been taken early. However, legal experts often note that documentaries can legally discuss public figures and allegations as long as they are presented responsibly. So whether power plays behind the scenes ever happened remains unknown. But the speculation doesn't stop there. Some commentators believe the deeper story might involve a long history of comparisons between Diddy and Tupac. Deal himself has claimed that Diddy showed a strange fascination with Tupac over the years. He points to moments where Diddy reportedly auditioned for roles Tupac later landed, and even suggests that certain speeches Diddy gave years later sounded similar to statements Tupac once made about social movements and activism. None of those ideas prove anything on their own, but they continue feeding the narrative that the two icons were connected by more than just industry competition.
I did see the interview that 50 did with Sherry, and he was talking about he didn't release the video about Puff having a kid by Kim Porter's friend, Sarah Chapman. Now, we all know that she used to date Tupac. You understand? So either he got her because he wanted some remnants of Tupac. We don't know. But it seemed like every dude that he had some kind of disdain, dislike, or that he idolized in a sense, he wanted their girl. Or he wanted to be a part of their girl. I don't know why. Yo, bro, this dude was, I don't know if he was in love or in hate for Tupac. He wanted to be an actor. He auditioned I think he auditioned for Juice. But Pac beat him out for that Bishop thing. You understand what I'm saying? He wanted to be a part of that. Just go, and not so many years ago, when Puff started getting into that drugs and started using drug stuff, he started revamping some of Tupac's speeches. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the Grammy speech he did. Go look at a couple of speeches he did. It was the same exact words Tupac had said. That he was going to start this whole revolutionary of our people. That's Tupac. Black Lives Matter, the Black Liberation Movement, that was Pac. The Black Liberation Movement. Black Lives Matter? Come on, bro. This dude, everybody know that he had some kind of, I don't want to say disdain taste, but he had some kind of, I don't, jealousy of Tupac, bro.
Importer.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Muir talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting.
Have a book, and that her book was about to come out. And she was talking about all the perils, everything that she went through in the music business and with Diddy. All the men that they slept with together, because there were men that they slept with together. There were swinging times that they slept with together. I don't know, man. How do you put your girl through some shit like that? Or how do you look at your girl and knowing that she's another dude? What kind of demonic mind you have to be that far gone where that shit don't bother you? And got rid of them. They swimming with the fishes.
Wow, man. So she was about to expose all that in her book, them sleeping with men together.
She was going to expose everything. I heard it was tell all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just curious, right? Did you know that Diddy and Kim had that type of relationship back then in real time?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Because I know somebody personally that lives in Atlanta that was swinging with them. And I would never mention his name because he's a good brother and he knows my family down there. You know, he knows my family down there. And I would never, put his name out there like that. He's been in the music
thing with the girl that he was dating was the one that was putting the wiretaps and all of that out. It was a clear case. She came, hey, I was the one who was doing the wiretaping and all of this, right? The tapping. So I knew about this before she came out and said that she was the one that was doing it. I was sitting there like, damn, he know everything she doing. He know her conversations. I'm sitting there like when I'm sitting there right there next to him, when I'm hearing them saying, this is what Shakira Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. that made him so mad at Shakir Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair. You don't think if he hit a man with a chair for dating his girl, you know, they gonna have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So then it happened in what was it, Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They had she said, they tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. Nah, the truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist. Yeah, but that's what happens when you put your hands on females. I don't really have much respect for a man who's physically abusive towards women, man. I kind of think they be kind of suspect. I'd be like, man, you know, I